Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into one of the most surprising and fastest transformations happening in Latin America. We're talking about Peru's digital revolution, a story that's being written right now with AI and data. And to kick things off, just look at this number, $250 million. That's the projected venture capital investment for Peru in 2024 alone. Now, this isn't just any number. It's a huge signal that investors see Peru not as some future promise, but as a profitable reality, right here, right now. And you can see that confidence reflected in statements like this one. The idea of Lima being called the #1 startup ecosystem in South America, well, that's a total paradigm shift. We're talking about a consolidation that's positioning Peru as a real heavyweight on the tech scene. All right, let's get into it. Here's our roadmap. First, we'll look at why Peru is becoming an innovation hub. Then, we'll celebrate the champions leading this transformation. After that, we'll tackle the challenges they're facing, see how the future is being built, and finally, wrap up with the historic opportunity all of this represents. So let's kick off with our first section. Look, we're not talking about some slow, gradual evolution here. What's happening in Peru is more like the awakening of a technological giant, a quantum leap, really, all fueled by innovation. And the data backing this awakening up, it's pretty impressive. I mean, being fifth in Latin America for AI readiness is already a big deal. But get this, investment in AI is set to more than triple by 2025. That shows a serious appetite for tech. And it's not just coming from the outside. It's being driven by local investors, too. Okay, now let's meet the heroes of this story. We're going to look at the success stories in the key sectors that are leading this incredible digital charge. Just take a look at the financial sector. Here, you've got a traditional giant, the Banco de Crédito del Perú, basically giving us all a masterclass in reinvention. They've managed to get over 65% of their clients to go digital. That's massive. And a huge part of that is thanks to innovations like their virtual assistant, Clara, which is completely redefining the relationship between the bank and its customers. And speaking of redefining things, how about this number? 28 million. That's the combined user base for Yape and Plin. These are the fintechs that have made digital payments just a normal part of daily life for millions of Peruvians. And you know, the key was making them work together. That interoperability has led to over 1 million transfers every single day. And it doesn't stop there. As you can see, other players are betting big. BBVA, with its OpenAI partnership, is already seeing significant savings. They're actually one of the most advanced banks in the world when it comes to AI. Meanwhile, you have Asbank using machine learning to block 92% of all fraud attempts. That's security and efficiency in action right there. Let's switch sectors now, but believe me, the level of ambition stays just as high. We're talking about mining, a pillar of the Peruvian economy. It's going through a full-on transformation into Mining 4.0, and with an investment portfolio of over $64 billion, well, the commitment to technology is absolute. So what's the real-world impact of that investment? Here are the results from Antamina. You're seeing a 3.6% reduction in costs and a 3.7% increase in copper production. Now, those numbers might not sound huge on their own, but in an operation of this scale, that translates to millions and millions of dollars. And it's all being done with predictive algorithms and process optimization. And this revolution isn't just happening in mining. Over in agriculture, precision tech is pulling off some incredible feats. I mean, imagine cutting post-harvest food losses by 25%, while also using 30% less water. That's exactly what companies like Camposol and Damper are achieving, making farming more sustainable and more profitable. But, for this to be the whole story, we have to talk about the obstacles, because this transformation isn't without its own massive challenges. There are some real giants that Peru needs to overcome on this journey. And this number, this represents the biggest giant of them all, the digital divide. Despite all the amazing technological progress we've seen, there are still 3 million Peruvians without any access to the digital world. That's the human face of the single biggest challenge the country is up against. And this divide isn't just about access, it's also geographic. The imbalance is stark. 90% of all tech activity is concentrated in Lima. This just makes the shortage of specialized talent in the rest of the country even worse. So, facing these challenges, the big question is, what's being done about it? Let's move on to the solutions. Because Peru isn't just pointing out the problems, it's actively building the foundations for a stronger, more inclusive digital future. A cornerstone of this is the new legal framework. The new data protection regulation coming in March 2025 is a huge step forward. It forces companies to have data officers, it guarantees that you, the user, have the right to your own data, and it requires security breaches to be reported within 48 hours. This builds trust, which is absolutely vital currency in the digital economy. And if we're talking about building the future, we have to talk about the port of Chancay. This isn't just a port, it's a symbol. It's shaping up to be the first truly smart port in South America, and it's a critical piece of the continent's digital infrastructure. So what makes it smart? Just look at this stuff. We're talking 100% automated cranes, intelligent autonomous vehicles moving the cargo, and total 5G coverage across the entire area. Chancay isn't just going to streamline Peru's logistics. The goal is for it to become the major hub connecting South America to the rest of the world. And that brings us to our conclusion. After seeing the successes, the challenges, and the solutions, it's pretty clear that Peru is at a unique moment in time. This is an opportunity that could define its future for generations to come. This quote really sums it all up perfectly. It is a decisive moment. The choices and the actions taken right now will determine whether the country can truly capitalize on all this technological momentum in a massive, sustainable way. And that leads us to the final question. With all the innovation from its companies, the ambition of its projects, but also with the digital divide and centralization acting as counterweights, is Peru really ready to take the leap? The answer to that is being written as we speak, because in the end, that's what it's all about. That window of opportunity is wide open. Peru's digital future isn't something that's going to happen, it is happening. It's being written right now. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.